Hi, this is Gabby Victoria and this is my PS 102 Lab Week 12 video. This week in lab we talked about optics, heat, and fluid. So there are many activities that Dr. Hoffman showed us to possibly try with our students. Some require hair dryers, so in those instances where I don't have those materials or I don't have them available to me in a classroom, I would probably go off and try to find some sort of video, whether that's a YouTube video or be a FetLab kind of deal in place of those experiences for my students where I can't give it to them, but probably a digital version can do just as well. Hi students, it's Miss B. This week we are talking about optics, heat, and fluids and some of their different properties. So for our first activity, we are going to be working with our little magnifying glass looking things. And these are going to be our lenses, and we're going to find their focal points and how that relates to us back as our wraparound back to the beginning. And we are also going to measure the mass of air, which is super cool, and I bet you guys didn't know that you could do this. Hi students, this week for this part of this lab we are going to be working with our small magnifying glasses or lenses, whichever you'd like to refer to them as. We have one that's smaller with a clear handle and one that's bigger with a blue handle. So I'm actually going to work with our clear handled one first and show you, and then you guys can do this on your own with your blue handled one. So when I pull this away from the table, you can see it has not only a shadow, but it has these little white dots. I actually have a light source right above me, which is where this light is coming from. It's coming above me and it's going in through my lens and onto my table. So you can move these up and down and we can see that the circle in the center really just moves around. Sometimes it's clear, sometimes it's a little fuzzy. But we want to find that spot where it gets the most clear and almost the perfect circle, and that is our focal point. We can measure that distance. Now I'm going to show you how to measure your focal length for your lens, and then you guys are going to be doing this with your other lens. You can even do it with your small lens of your own. So again, I'm going to take my lens out and I'm going to have it on the table, and I'm going to try to find that one little spot where it looks perfect. I'm going to take my ruler that I have, I'm going to set it flat on the table. I'm going to move it over toward my lenses, and I can see that it's almost right at 6 inches on my ruler. So I know that the perfect spot to see something, if I had like a piece of paper right here, I would need to have my lens 6 inches above that to get the best view of it. I want you to use your blue lens that you have, and I want you to find the focal length with your ruler and report back to me. Now that you guys have played around with your lenses and the idea of a focal length, the reason that we are talking about this is because this is kind of like what glasses do. So if you are a person who needs glasses, I'm a person that needs glasses, but I'm currently wearing contacts, and contacts do the exact same thing. There is a lens either in your contacts or in your glasses, and it is reflecting the light from an object onto your eye at the right focal length so that you're able to see those objects clearer than you would before, because maybe some people their eyes weren't formed correctly like mine. So mine aren't a perfect circle, they are actually kind of look more like an oval, so things aren't being projected onto the back of my eye the same way because my eye shape is just a little bit different than the average person. Alright, and for the next part of our lab, you're going to need a balloon, some tape, and your scale. So to measure the mass of air, we are first going to measure with a piece of tape on our scale so that our balloon, once it's blown up, doesn't float away, but we want to account for this weight. So you turn your scale off and you make your little loop of tape and set it on there, and then you press 1. It will automatically go to 0 and it won't weigh your piece of tape. So now we want to weigh just our balloon without any air in it. We're going to let it settle for a second, and it looks like it says 2.87 grams. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to blow our balloon up. I'm going to tie it off real quick, like we're having a party soon. And I'm going to move this away so that we can fit our balloon. So I have our balloon on there, but as you can see, it kind of takes up the whole scale. So our new number was 3 point, oh, we're gonna let it set. Our balloon's kind of rocking. 3.19 was our numbers. 3.19, this is our one with air, and 2.87, we can do this math. We're gonna take this away to try to find out what our air is gonna be, and these are in grams. So 211 is at 3.0. So this is how much our air weighed